All right, everybody. So today I wanted to talk about Archetheya, what it is, and talk a little bit about like what the series is as a whole. Obviously, the name itself is something you probably never heard of before, so I wanted to talk about what that means as well. Obviously, if you've been following the channel, you see I've uploaded the first part of the series titled Genesis. And it's a lot of fun. I love making it. Some of you may remember it from before the What is the Matrix series, but I changed some stuff and refined some stuff, and I like it a little bit better. So that's what we're going to be doing here over time. So Archetheya, to put it simply, is really sort of the culmination of my journey and everything I learned. And it's kind of like every question I ever had personally as far as the mysteries of the universe and the meaning of life and all that stuff, demystifying religion and spirituality as a whole. I found those answers, and then I decided to kind of like put everything I found in sort of video format and like a series that anyone can consume. And so that's what this is. I just really I kind of wanted to do it. I always wanted like a book, right? Or just something simple that's like, all right, this is the meaning of life. This is the purpose of everything. This is how things work. This is what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to go on a wild goose chase. I mean, this took a few decades of my time to find all this information and put it together. If you think it's new age nonsense, you're perfectly more than welcome to feel that way. This is just me sharing my truths and what I found. And I love it. I just, I've mentioned this before, but I just felt really inspired to create this and share it. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and that's all that it is. So the Archetheya series will be coming out just over, periodically. You'll see a new entry in the series drop as time goes on. I want to say there's probably 14 or 15 parts of the series. And so to talk a little bit about the name Archetheya, that's actually, I kind of made it up a little bit. I didn't completely make it up, but I took two Greek words, right? And I kind of mashed them together, so to speak, right? And the fundamental meaning of Archetheya is, so it's kind of like the origin revealed, right? And so, that's pretty much what that word means. It doesn't actually exist, so, you're not going to find it anywhere else. But arche, if you look that up, it's a Greek word. It stands for kind of like, it's some of these words are weird to translate into different languages, but it's basically, arche means sort of like the origin, right? Like unveiled. And then there's another Greek term, aletheia, which kind of means the truth made evident, basically, right? So I kind of just took like those two words, combined them, and so it essentially means the origin sort of revealed, right? That's basically what it means. And I thought it was kind of cool, kind of catchy. I'm really excited making it. I really wanted to it's really just about demystifying the greatest questions of life in a spiritual and metaphysical place, and also, providing tools and insights for how you can, sort of grow on your path, or if you wanted to, if you went through this series, like you'll get everything I learned in like one shot, so it won't be, you don't have to go all over the place looking under every rock, looking for answers and stuff like that. And you'll also find, I mentioned this in the first video, there's quotes in pretty much every video that are taken from the King James Version of the Bible that are used to sort of illustrate that the truths, the content in Archetheya has biblical interpretation, but it also has interpretation and meaning for all religions and stuff like that. So I do come from the place of, there's universal harmony amongst all religious and spiritual paths. Obviously, there's a lot of people who don't like that. If you don't like this material, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. But I thought I would just kind of make a little video talking a little bit in depth about what Archetheya is and what to expect from it. And, obviously, if there's any questions about anything that anyone has, like, you're more than welcome to either post them in the comments of those videos as they come out, or email me or something. That's pretty much it. We're going to be talking about, just to give a brief rundown, kind of like the meaning of life, like what the true meaning of all religions are, and kind of just demystifying all of it, right? Talking about the dark occult and the light occult. I know some people that are into some stuff going on in the world, sort of behind the scenes, are interested in sort of the dark occult. So we'll talk a little bit about them a little bit, but I'm not going to spend too much time there. but you'll have an understanding, right? You'll know, because in religion, and especially, with the way mankind tried to manipulate religion, especially like in Christianity and Roman Catholicism and stuff, there really was a lot of manipulation, and there really was an attempt to sort of hide a lot of this information and bury it and manipulate what people knew. And honestly, you got to remember, like in the Catholic Church, for example, there's a huge period of time where everyday people weren't even allowed to read the Bible, right? Like it was just for the priests. And I want to say it was in Latin, right? So like if you didn't know how to read, or if you didn't even understand Latin, I don't think you go to these sermons, you wouldn't even know what they were talking about anyway, and you couldn't read it. So yeah, there's a lot of that, and there's a reason for a lot of that, which we'll talk about, in this channel, in the series touches on it too. My mission and interest, and as I mentioned before, like the secret societies, different secret societies have different sort of like missions, right? We'll just use the Freemasons as an example. I'm not a Freemason, just so you know. The Masons, a lot of people think the Masons are just completely evil and they're here to take over the world. That's not true. They're a mystical brotherhood, right? And I'm aware of what they know, like overall, because I'm kind of on that path too. They're just like another branch, right? Again, I mentioned in the videos of Rosicrucian for a time and stuff like that. So the Masons were a group of people who wanted to keep spiritual truth and teachings and even like some ancient history and stuff intact so that it couldn't be destroyed or manipulated by other groups, kind of like the dark occult, burying information, outright destroying information. That's kind of like the whole thing with the Library of Alexandria, where they burned all those books. That stuff really happened. And it happened to kind of prevent human beings across the board from having like spiritual freedom, right? They wanted the mind control going on, like just at church and stuff, like just believe what we say and we're the kind of the gatekeepers. That's all dark occultism. I hate to burst your bubble if you're a Catholic person, but I'm not saying you can't be Catholic or whatever, but that's where it all comes from. And so the Freemasons they weren't interested in this. They wanted to keep that knowledge alive. Originally, they're mostly good. Even now, they're still good. They're mostly a brotherhood of light, but it's such an ancient network, and it's so kind of pervasive all over the world that they've been infiltrated over the centuries as well by dark occultists, right? So there is dark stuff going on in Masonry, but the truth is the dark occult is kind of like infiltrated almost, everything, mostly, to as much as they could anyway, to kind of meddle stuff up. The last thing they want you to know is the truth about your true nature and what true spirituality is all about. That's the last thing they want you to know. So this... when we talk about the Great Awakening, we talk about this Archetheya series and what we're doing on this channel, this is all just one little sliver of someone, like contributing to kind of the world at large, just universal spiritual truths that have been hidden for a long time for mankind that are now being made available freely. So that's what this is. All that stuff of manipulating people and scaring the crap out of people with tales of going to hell forever, all that stuff. We're going to break all that down, and we're going to bust any social engineering, specifically through religion and spirituality. We're just going to bust the whole thing up, and you're going to be equipped and empowered with the tools to know what's going on. And of course, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, what you're saying is evil, pal." But the truth is, that's usually coming from sort of a Christian background. And the reason they're saying that is because they've been programmed to say that. They don't know that, they don't have any idea. They just been told that at church. One time I went to this Episcopalian church, and I wasn't me. I happened to be with some family members who did that thing, so I was just kind of along for the ride. And for some reason, this priest gets up and starts talking about how evil Gnosticism is and stuff like that. Look, you don't have to be a Gnostic or like it or whatever, but I just thought it was odd that, like, I looked around in the audience. I don't know what's the congregation or whatever. These were older people, like in New Mexico. Like nobody knew what Gnosticism was, right? Why was he even bringing it up? You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of shocked because like, wow, this is some old school tactics. Like because they don't want you knowing the truth. And Gnosticism is sort of like true Christianity, by the way. But it's just part of it. This isn't just like a purely Gnostic channel, but that is a large part of the way things really are. And again, there's people that it's like the Matrix, right? There's like agents that don't want people to know certain things because then they lose control over people. So we're going to give you all that power so you can break loose. That's what this is really about, the Archetheya series and the site and channel from Delusion to Truth as a whole. So I hope that makes sense. We're literally just going to be taking delusion and bringing truth to it. We're going to, anything that's kind of mysterious or hazy, mostly as it relates to spiritual and religious and occult stuff, we're going to be sort of illuminating so that you have a clearer idea what it is or what they're talking about, whether or not you agree with it. And again, you can disagree with me. It's totally fine. So that's pretty much it. That's what Archetheya is. That's what we're going to be doing through the series. And again, through the channel, I'll be popping in, making videos like this, just kind of like, talking about the various topics and stuff like that. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this video. You guys, hope you guys are doing well. If you have any comments or questions or anything at all, feel free to comment in the section below, in the comment down below, right? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.